Welcome to the Voice of Silence, where life's whispers are amplified through candid conversations and insightful reflections. Join us on a journey of introspection, growth, and empowerment. Prepare to embark on a voyage of self discovery. This is the Voice of Silence, conversations that matter.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to another brand new exciting episode of Tivos, the Voice of Silence podcast, where life whispers are amplified through candid conversations and insightful reflection. And I'm your host, David Dominic. And today we are having another special guest who is the poet writer who is going by the name Mwansa Agness Chungu. Mwansa Agness Chungu, she is the author of the book called Memoirs of a Tormented Soul. And today we are going to dig deep into the book, how she wrote the book, and anything else which might come on the way. And also, thanks to our sponsors for today, for this episode. We are at Old Crow Pub, Lusaka, along Mosochunya Road, near Woodland Stadium, Lewanika Mall. And yeah, so welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for this invitation.
Yeah, so you're welcome. Be free, not feel free, be free. You know what I mean?
Yes.
If it was at my place, when I say be free, what I mean is that you are welcome. You can make tea, you can cook shima, even if it's at night. Be at home. Don't feel at home. Okay?
All right.
Yes. So, as we are starting, first of all, let me finish introducing this place. So, this place at Old Crown Pub, Lusaka, it's a karaoke nightclub. They normally do on Friday, Saturday, from Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday. They normally have karaoke, and it's a very great place to be. You can come and chill. So, madam, once again, you're welcome.
Thank you very much for the invitation.
Yes. So, without wasting much of time, I would like you to introduce yourself. Like, who is Mwansa Agness Chungu?
Mwansa Agness Chungu, before being a writer, I am a daughter, I am a sister, and I'm a librarian by profession.
Mm-hmm.
Then other than that, I do writing as a side profession as well.
Okay. So,
Yes.
can you tell us more about, or a bit about your education background?
I should start from which part? Secondary, primary.
Anyway, where you feel okay, where there was most interesting stories. It's obvious secondary to university.
All right. So, in terms of primary school,
Mhm.
I was at 3 different schools at different periods of time.
Okay.
The first school that I was at is South End. South End School. It's located in town. It's near Comesa,
Oh.
where the Comesa headquarters is. And then from there, I moved to a private school called Rainbow.
Okay.
It's a school from grade 1 to grade 7. Then I was there from grade 3 to 5.
Okay.
And then from grade 6 to grade 7, I went to North Mid Basic School. I think now it's called North Mid High. I think it has been turned into a high school. But at that time, it was North Mid Basic School. So I was there from grade 6 to grade 7. Then when I passed my grade 7, I went to St. Mary's Secondary School, which is located in Woodlands. And that's why I did my grade 8 to 12. And grade 12, after completion, I applied to go to UNZA and I was accepted under School of Education. I applied for the program Library and Information Science, of which it was a double major program. So I graduated with Library Information Science and Development Studies in 2017. So I was at UNZA from 2013 to 2017. Then St. Mary's I completed in 2011.
Okay. That, like you studied what? What were you studying?
Library and information science
Why that?
or studies. Okay, initially it wasn't the program that I wanted to do. When I was in grade 12, I wanted to do something to do with maybe art or architecture or even medicine. But programs are determined with the grades that we get. So based on the points that I got, I was advised to apply for a different program under UNZA, and I didn't want to do a teaching program. So I'm not good at being a teacher, but I can teach someone one on one, but not teaching an entire classroom. So before applying, I had to look at the programs that they were offering under School of Education, and I stumbled on Library Information Studies, of which I did my research before applying. I researched that one, it's a double major program, as in meaning you have a double degree once you complete your program. Then two, there are some who take library studies with a teaching program, and then there are others who do library studies with a program under humanities. It can be economics, it can be public administration, it can be in political science, it can be development studies. And then the third thing that I found out from the research was when you complete, you don't necessarily become a librarian. You can work anywhere. You can work different institutions, different organizations. So that's why I decided to apply for the same.
I can see a passion with books, like reading books. You read a lot of books, eh?
No, I don't. I don't read a lot of books.
Or you've read before?
On the contrary, I don't read a lot of books. I don't read a lot of books. I read books that interest me, that feeds my curiosity. Maybe fiction, maybe non-fiction, but I'm not a bookworm. But I do read, but I'm not a bookworm to say that I read a lot of books. No.
Okay.
Mhm.
All right. So, if you don't mind, so can you share a bit about how you started the journey of you being a poet?
Okay. Okay. I didn't even know that I could write
Okay.
because for me, like I mentioned, when I was in grade 12, I wanted to do something to do with art.
Yeah.
Reason why is because in my growing up, I had a tendency of like drawing. I had a passion of art.
Okay.
I used to draw a lot. And during school periods, like in primary school, where we'll have a period where we'll do maybe creative, maybe drawing and whatnot, I would spend my time like draw most of the time. So I had that passion and that dream of wanting to draw and whatnot. But then I never did art at school. Like in grade 8, I didn't take art. Grade 10, I didn't take art. I took different um, subjects that were away from my passion, but I still loved art. I only started writing after I completed grade 12. I'm mostly a quiet person. I'm only open to people who I feel comfortable with.
In short, you're unsocial.
I'm not unsocial.
I think that's a
I'm in
simple thing.
between. I'm in between an introvert and an extrovert. There are moments where if I'm in an area where I feel maybe I'm not wanted.
Yeah.
I feel
you
maybe
imposed or something like.
I'm like I don't belong in that place. I close up
Okay.
and be in that introvert state. But if I'm in an area where I'm accommodated, I'm welcomed, and I can even feel the energy coming from the person, like, okay, this is genuine.
Okay.
Then yes, it makes me open up and become very social.
Yeah.
So when I completed school, I bought a small hardcover book and I started writing down like my thoughts, like inspirational thoughts, just my inner thoughts.
Yeah.
Like I would write down. So whenever we have an activity and I'm in an area where I'm in a place whereby the people that are surrounding me, I don't feel like I can open up to them. I would mostly spend time writing down my thoughts and whatnot. Then 2015, I was staying with a cousin of mine. Right now, she's not based in Osaka. She's based in Mansa. She's working. So she was like, no, I want to write a book. I want to write a book about feminism, women, equality, and stuff like that. So when she mentioned the idea of writing a book, me, I told her, also me, I also want to write a book, but
Okay.
for me, I don't want to focus on women equality and women
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
feminism, because for me, I'm not a feminist. I'm
Okay.
in between. And reason why I'm in between is because I have brothers. So I understand that men are also human.
Okay.
And yes, I'm a woman and I'm also human, and how men treat us is not fair. But again, how women treat men again
Yeah, yeah.
also makes me upset, because
Okay.
I have brothers, I have cousins.
Yes, yes.
And moreover, when I get married, who knows, God will bless me with sons. So if I'm unable to understand the men folk,
Mhm.
then I'll be unable to understand my own sons. So I need to be in between and understand both genders. So I told myself I'll write a poetry book, of which I told myself I'll write a book, but I'll venture into poetry,
Okay.
because poetry, in my understanding, is also art.
Yes, yes.
It's an art, but you use words to bring out the art.
Yeah, I understand.
You bring out the art through spoken or writing them down on a piece of paper. So it's art in its own way. So doing poetry was more like expressing the art I wanted to express from the very beginning.
Yeah,
So I told myself I'm going to do poetry instead.
yeah.
And I started teaching myself how to write poetry. I didn't know how to write. So I started now the journey of writing. Started writing poetry, started teaching myself, started reading poems written by other writers, other authors, started joining
Communities. Or where they.
communities where they do poetry, where they post poems and whatnot.
Mm.
And that was like 2015. So 2015 to somewhere 2018, I just focused on writing. And it was during that same period, I think 2015, that I came up with the name of my book,
Okay.
Memoirs of the Tormented. So as I was teaching myself how to write poems, I was also coming up with the titles for my book. And during that process, I would write a poem and it would feel, okay, this is not good enough. I would start again, rewrite using the same title. I'll rewrite it until I felt, okay, this is now perfect. I'll stick to this one. Then I'll go to the next poem, just like that. So 2018, that was the time that where I now reached the level to say, okay, now I'm ready to publish my first book. And when that time reached, I wrote an ebook called Assassin Memoirs.
Okay.
Assassin Memoirs is it's an ebook and it's free of charge.
Okay.
I had put it up for free because I wanted to see how
The response. Of
yes,
the
the
people.
response from the people.
Yeah.
So I had put it up for free. And Assassin Memoirs was actually part of Memoirs of the Tormented. So it was a poem that I wrote titled Assassin Memoirs.
Mhm.
Then when I shared to one of my cousins, Kaselekela, he actually told me, "Oh, this sounds like a book that you can, this sounds like a poem that you can write on its own. Like you come up with a character of that particular book and whatnot." So I was like, okay, no problem. So that's how I removed it from the book Memoirs of the Tormented. So, and I started now working on Assassin Memoirs, building from the same poem that I wrote at first. So I wrote, and the book is in two parts. So I wrote the book. Then I made sure to dedicate it to the person who gave me the idea of coming up with that book. And
Yes, yes.
so in the book I mentioned that it's dedicated to my cousin Kaselekela because it's the one who gave me that idea that I should come up with that character. That was somewhere 2018, 2019.
Okay.
No, I think 2020, somewhere there. I published Sassy Memoirs using a website, a Zambian website called Loud Ink Art.
Okay.
I don't know if it's still in existence, but that's the one that I used at first. Then after marketing it, then later on I republished it using Zambia Arts Publisher. So it should be there on Zambia Arts Publishers
Yeah,
website.
yeah.
Then, other than Assassin Memoirs, I also wrote random poetic words.
Okay.
So, random poetic words, the way it came about was I usually post my poems on my Facebook account. So, a certain former schoolmate of mine. Her name is Nyanje.
Mm-hmm.
We're together at Rainbow. She's the one who commented. In fact, even at St. Mary's, we're together at St. Mary's, same class from grade 8 to grade 9. Yeah. So she's the one who commented saying these poems that you're writing, you can actually put them in a book.
Yes.
You can put them in a book then and have them published. So when she said that, I had to erase all of them that I had published in that year.
Okay.
Then I put them in a collection of books, which I called Random Poetic Words. I call it Random Poetic Words because it doesn't have a specific theme.
Yeah.
The themes which are in the book are different. There's love, there's sadness, there's about war, there's about church, there's about like religion and stuff like that. So there isn't a specific like theme.
Okay.
So that's why it's called random. It's like it has got random poems in it.
All right.
So for it,
Mhm.
I published it on Amazon Kindle, but with the Zambian culture that we have, not all people go on Amazon
Yeah,
Kindle. So
yeah.
I self-published it on Amazon Kindle, but I also like sell it like using there's a printing company that actually does the hard copy printing, and then those who want soft copy, I'm able to send by email or WhatsApp. But
So-
it is on sale.
Okay. So that same one, the one you are published on Amazon, how was the response?
It was very poor.
How poor was it?
It was very poor, like I mentioned. Even when I started marketing it, I think only one person who managed to buy that book
I think
on
that was
Amazon
one of
Kindle.
the relatives, eh?
Yeah, a relative. And she's not based in Zambia, actually.
Okay.
She's based in Australia. She's the one who actually bought the book. So when I noticed those, and people were complaining because of the fact that they have to go on Amazon Kindle, probably create an account and stuff
Yeah.
like that.
Oh.
So I was like, then in order for me to reach other people, then the same printing company that did the cover page for me and the illustrations, then will be doing the actual printing in hard copy. So anyone who wants a hard copy, all I have to do is tell the printing company to
Make
to make the copies, and then those who want soft copy, I can send via email or WhatsApp. But it is on sale.
But I think it's better you brand it properly so that people to be available for everyone than you publishing only one if only one person needs it, because of I feel like it will cost you very much compared if you do a lot on spot.
No, you're actually right on that one. No, I get your point, but doing sales of books is quite expensive, and I've been using it out of my own pocket.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, so and having like 2 books that I have to print out at the same time. So usually the books that I have currently that are like printed out a lot is Memoirs of the Tormented. So because it's the one which is currently being like on demand. But for Random Poetic Words, the good thing is that there's the soft copy part and the hard copy part.
No, yeah, on that one will come later. On the other ones.
Yeah, that's got the good thing is that's got the soft copy part and the hard copy. So those who don't want a hard copy can actually buy a soft copy, of which the prices even differ.
Cheaper, yeah?
Yes, the soft copy one is very cheap because all I have to do is just send to you maybe via email or via WhatsApp. But it's the hard copy one that is maybe slightly a bit expensive.
Yeah, I know. So I'd rather go with a hard copy because a lot of things happen there with soft copies.
Okay.
Yeah. So I heard you say before you went through to the whole book part, you mentioned about the way you used to journal your thoughts, the way you used to write your thoughts. So how much do you think it's changed your life, generating your thoughts?
Like I mentioned at the beginning, I'm sometimes I keep to myself. So
Yeah.
writing down writing down my thoughts helps me in healing. It also helps me to be myself because like I'm writing down my thoughts, and as I write, I'm understanding myself, me better. And it also makes me to broaden my mind to greater understanding, not only about my writing, but also about like life in general. Because I'm kind of like an overthinker. So because of the fact that I'm quiet, so that I've
Okay.
got like a lot of things that run into my head. So writing makes me feel complete. When the moment I start writing, whether I'm feeling sad,
Mm-hmm.
whether I'm happy,
Okay.
whether there's just something that's frustrating me, the moment I start writing, like everything just goes away and I feel better right there and then. It's like therapy for me.
Okay.
Mm.
On that one, I agree with you. You know, we all go through some moments where you feel down, you feel like you're not unable to connect with yourself.
Mm.
I remember some point that was like last week. A lot of things were going on with me.
Mm.
So like, okay, what can I do? And I had no one to talk to. So I, lucky enough, with this technology, there's ChatGPT. I started like chatting with ChatGPT.
Okay.
Now, ChatGPT mentioned to me, say it gave me four solutions. It told me to say it's either you take a walk or you listen to music, which didn't work for me because it was one of those where I was tired. I had a lot of like I had a lot of movements at that particular time.
Mm.
So now I started to say, okay, it was like a conversation with someone, eh? Yeah.
Mm.
So I was like, okay, I think is there any other thing that you think I can do apart from music and taking a walk? And then it suggested journaling. That was the first thing. And now like, okay, I think the only problem I have is with when someone just say what you write. I feel like maybe that can be the problem that I can find.
Mm.
The second one, it was about meditation.
Okay.
It mentioned also about meditation. So now that you've come up with this journaling, I've now confirmed how important journaling is because it's like you gather all your thoughts, everything, so that you see what's bothering you and what's not bothering you, what's important or what's not important. So on that one, we are on the same page.
Yeah, because for me, other than like at the beginning, I used to like journal thoughts, but now it's more like I write everything in form of poetry.
And
If
then you're
there's
making money out of it.
I write everything in form of poetry. It might be something maybe that's not affecting me, but
Mhm.
I've observed that it's affecting maybe my surroundings, affecting my environment, and I'm not happy about it. So
Mm.
I put it in the form of poetry, then I publish it there.
Oh,
And
so
then
yeah,
yeah.
so meaning you gather anything which comes your way, right?
Yes.
So meaning journaling can either when you are happy or maybe any moment that you are.
Yes.
Okay, so meaning it can be great help to someone maybe who have those down moments or maybe the moments they feel like okay they are not themselves. Also, it can help, isn't it?
Yes.
Okay. So what about meditation? Have you ever tried meditation?
I have.
How does it work?
Meditation. Okay, for me, meditation also helps because it helps you to calm your mind. But you have to know which type of meditation that you are. Are you doing the yoga one or you're doing the Christian type of
There's also
meditation
a Christian there.
where you read the Bible
Oh yeah, now you
and then you
yeah
meditate on the word
yeah.
that you read. You
Hmm.
try and apply it to what you're going through
Oh yes.
right then. Then that's another form of meditation. So I don't know which type of meditation you're talking about.
No, like to you, the one you do.
For me, currently, I'm doing the Christian one
Okay.
where I may not have read like a Bible, but there'll be a Bible verse that I'll remember, or maybe a topic in the Bible that I'll remember, and I'll begin to meditate on it to an extent whereby I'll even ask myself questions. If this was supposed to be ABCD,
Mm-hmm.
how would I go about it? And I'll have to answer those questions that I'm going to ask myself based on the biblical concept. And then from there, I'll find the answer that I need and I'll find a relief within myself. Yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
So now we are on Memoirs of a Tormented Soul.
Yes.
First of all, maybe you explain to the people who might not know what memoirs is. How would you explain? to someone who doesn't know for them to buy your book?
Uh, okay. Memoirs, in my understanding, is it's similar to what we call biography. Yeah,
Okay.
someone's life experience,
Yeah, yeah, I
but
know. But to
but
other
yeah,
people.
yeah, it's similar to like biography where you write about life experiences from a particular stage to your current stage. And yeah, the only difference between a biography and memoirs is biography, like it's a long life, like story, like you've achieved everything in life, and you just want to like write something that people can read about your life. But for memoirs,
Mm.
it's something that someone can even write as at now, yeah, maybe in your 20s, yeah, in your 30s, but you want to give insight of what you have experienced, what you have achieved, what how you overcome certain things based on your life experiences. That's how I understand memoirs.
All right. So, to our dear viewers and listeners, we are here at Old Crow Pub Lusaka, where they have karaoke. They normally have it on Wednesday, Friday, and Sunday. And just in case for the noise, we are just near the tar road where the cars are passing, and because of we couldn't use inside like the indoors because of the load shedding power and stuff. So yeah, welcome back.
All right, thank you.
All right. So you've mentioned about the name of the book. What's the theme of the same book?
Okay, for the from the book itself, Memoirs of a Tormented Soul,
Mm-hmm.
uh, clearly shows that there is no love
Yeah,
in
yeah,
that
yeah.
book. There is no happiness.
Mm-hmm.
There is no joy.
Yeah.
So the theme of the book is outlining what people face in
Mm.
reality in terms of sadness, heartbreak, depression, just the sad realities of our life.
Yeah.
That's the theme from the book. Like anyone who's experienced sadness, depression, and heartbreak, or who has felt like lonely to a certain extent, while they feel no one understands them, Memoirs of the Tormented Soul is perfect for that person.
All right. So like so to you now personally with this, how did you handle all these loneliness like you've mentioned with the theme from the theme you've came in with?
Okay, now you're going to make me talk about the book in detail.
No,
So,
actually, you won't say everything, but at least you say something.
okay, so for me, the book is not really all about me. Like, I got inspiration from myself,
Mhm.
I got inspiration from my brothers, and I got inspiration from the country at large called Zambia,
Mm.
like our community. So, I got inspiration from three things: the environment, um, my brothers, and myself. It's something that I observed, and I was like, I need to put it in the book. Initially, I wanted it to be about women, what women go through. But
Mm.
again, like I said, I'm not a
You wanted to,
feminist.
yeah, you wanted to be in general.
Yes, but again, I'm not a feminist. So I decided to also cater something to do with men,
Yeah.
so that it's on both men and women, and just about life in general.
Okay. So you've mentioned this book. You've mentioned that it's also a piece of poetry, right? In this book, right?
As in, the whole book is poetry. It
Yes.
has got like poems in it. So
Mm.
um every poem that I have written is more like every time I write a poem, so to say, in general, maybe the poem in the books in the books that I've written, or might be a poem that I've posted on Facebook. There's always like a piece of my soul that I
Mhm.
give out, because when I'm writing a poem, my mind, my heart, and soul are in agreement with what I'm writing, and so it's more like I'm giving every emotion in it, whether I've gone through it or not. I'll put in that emotion, and it will allow even other people to relate like from it.
So if you don't mind, can you share with us only two pieces of poem in the book from the book? which might interest people to, look by your book?
Okay. Which one is my favorite?
It feels like they're all your favorites.
Oh, my
I
favorite.
need something which is just from your heart.
Uh, okay. So I'll talk about life,
Okay.
which is a poem in my book, and this one is from my heart because just yesterday I was writing a poem in line with what I'm going through.
All right.
Yeah, I was submitting for a competition. So I had to, I wrote the poem in such a way that I didn't want to write about other people. I wrote about myself, what I am going through.
All right.
So even the poem "Life" is something I can relate to even now.
Okay.
So okay, the title of the poem is called "Life," and it goes: Why do you treat me in this manner? You trample upon me with pain, poverty, joblessness, sorrow. Thou, I beseech your help and grace to live a happy and fulfilled stay. I stay here on earth with openings of abundant doors. Doors of opportunity to be a satisfied being. Why then are my doors closed? You spite on me and scorned me, for you know my soul has not been clean. Clean from the earthly stains that have blinded my sight. Light from the heavens, and so I don't see the gate open. What am I to do? Give up whatever trouble comes. Until the hand that molded my being into existence has not called my name to everlasting sleep, I will dwell and strive till I reach my lasting grace. From grace to grace, I will rise and journey on a ride and die trip, never giving up on life that the heavens bestowed upon me.
Bravo.
So I don't know if you want me to read another one.
I said two, so I'm expecting
You said
another
two.
one. Yeah. Wow.
Okay. I also like this one. It's
Okay.
called Sweetest Girl.
It's also about yourself.
It's something I can also relate to.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
So
Okay.
when I was writing this one, I was also, it's something that I could relate to as well.
Okay. And it goes.
Yeah, and it goes. There was a glimpse of innocence in her eyes.
Mhm.
With just a mere smile, one would gaze at a reflection the world only knew. Pain hidden deep in her heart and rooted beneath her soul. That, that none sought to realize that despite her beauty and enchanting smile, despite all the good that she did to those that cared and didn't care, despite being the sweetest girl who followed obedience to the letter, yet that sweetest girl runs away from her shadows. Shadows that brought terrors of the night, terrors only filmed in the dream, and buried in a sleep only to look at a world like nothing was broken. Sweetest girl, why do you cry in silence when no one is looking? Why do you hide in the shadows of those with authority? And she answers, I cry in silence for none is ready to see the raindrops of my eyes. For no one is ready to hear and feel my pain, a pain that is my cross to bear. But I find compensation in seeing others happy, in seeing they heal. That to me gives me strength that I too, my pain can be healed. I hide in other people's shadows, for they are not ready to face mine. They won't be able to control my shadows, for they are wild and untamed. They have a mind of their own, and so that is what makes me different. To the world, I am the sweetest girl, but to my own truth, I am a broken soul that dwells in peace by seeing those around happy. And so I hide my sorrow and pain with a glance of a smile, and let my eyes give a reflection of what was once a filled soul, with no scars or pain, but just complete happiness.
Wow. You know, okay, before I even ask another question, what was really going on at this point when you are writing this?
A lot.
How much is a lot?
I felt like most people didn't understand me at that time. So I think writing that writing that poem was a way of trying,
Expressing.
yeah, to express that in as much as people want me to follow certain rules. I spoke of authority. Authority, I'm not just talking about maybe where I work,
Yeah.
maybe anyone who is
Something
way
you can.
above me,
Mm-hmm.
maybe in terms of age and whatnot. I felt maybe I felt a point where like like I was talking about the shadows where I have to hide in the authority of these people. Whatever they tell me to do, I need to like do it. But again, I was hurting myself because I was not expressing my own self because certain things were not aligning with what I wanted to do or with or with the way I was observing life at that time. So writing that poem in that manner was a way of expressing my own emotions. And I still relate to it because we are faced with certain challenges where certain decisions that we do obviously needs approval from our higher authority.
Yes.
But I've reached a point whereby I've told myself the only approval that I need is from God. God is my authority. So if God is backing my own decisions, my actions, then it means it's time for people to see my own shadows.
Yeah.
No more hiding in the authority of others, only hiding in the authority of God. That's all. Because certain things that you do when you give yourself entirely to God and say, God, this is what I want, or this is what I want you to do for me. God is going to do things that even people around you are going to question, why is this person doing this? And stuff like that. So, sweetest girl, in as much as you're seen to be sweet, you obey your elders and whatnot, but there are certain things that you have to do for yourself that are going to make those that you are obeying already to start now who they won't contain what you're going to be able to bring out at the end of the day. So that's what was going through my mind.
Wow. You know, I'm able to relate some of the things that we've mentioned here. Looking at in my secondary education, I was learning literature.
Mm,
So literature which talks more about poetry and stuff.
mm,
So now looking at, I didn't know that poetry can reach out to this end, like the way you've mentioned some other things. How much people are now developing the interest in this.
mm.
Yeah, because looking at the way we are learning our literature, it wasn't as serious as we thought it is.
Yes.
Yes, but now I've seen the future of the poetry. So
Yeah.
now, in the book, what message do you hope your readers will be able to find, like find related with? What message do you hope that the readers can find in your book?
Okay, for me, um, before I answer that question, I'll go back. The main reason why I write, what drives me, and what drove me to write poetry is to inspire, motivate, and encourage someone out there. And not only that, I had questions asking myself and asking God, what is my purpose in life?
Mm,
And I feel writing is part of my purpose.
okay.
Yes. Each person on this surface of the earth has got a gift that God has given them.
Either they know or they didn't know.
Yeah, others know, others don't know about it. So it depends with how Christian like you are or how religious you are. Religious is not about going to church every Sunday. Religious is about you talking to God and reading your Bible.
Mm.
That is you being a Christian. It's not about you going to church, being in youth groups or chitentes. No.
Yeah.
It's having a personal connection with God that is very deep, that only Him, you feel only Him can understand you, and the rest of the human world will never understand you. Like I mentioned, there'll be certain things that you will do that God is going to require you to do, and people are going to question. But it's part of what you need to do to get to where God wants you to go. So,
Before we go very far, you've mentioned of it takes someone to know themselves, right? It's like in the process of self-discovery, right? So now for you, I know for a fact you know who you are. For those people who doesn't know who they are, what tip would you give them to know who they are?
do you know the beauty about solitude?
Nope.
Most people are scared of experiencing solitude because they'll feel they'll be lonely. But in the moment where you have experiencing solitude, give yourself time to connect with your soul. And the only way you can do that is through meditation. So I don't know which type of meditation, if it's the Christian one or the yoga one.
Okay.
But through meditation, you'll be able to connect with your soul. Because as human beings, we're made of three forms. Huh? There's the body, the spirit, and the soul.
Yeah.
So the soul is what connects us to the spirit, and it's also part of our body. So I don't fully know myself, but I know what I want out of this life.
Okay.
I know what I want to achieve out of this life.
Mm.
I know what I want to become out of this life. And everything that I want to achieve, everything that I want to have, everything that I want to become is all aligned to my purpose and gifts. And if I move away from what God wants me to do, then everything crumbles. And I lose my way, I lose my focus, I lose my vision. So writing makes me to speak about, writing drives me to give encouragement, to give motivation, to give some form of inspiration or healing. You'd find maybe some people are gifted with different gifts, but they've buried their gifts. But the
Yes.
moment they hear, oh, this person has written this book, ABCD, ABCD, they'll feel that inspiration. I can also revive my gift. I can also do that baking that I've always wanted to do. I can also sing and do my music that I've always wanted to do. So it's not about just because I'm writing, then whoever that is following me is only going to focus about writing. No. Whatever gifts that they have and they've buried, the moment they hear I've written this, they'll be able to get inspired. So I use, what was the question again? I use writing to inspire people.
Yeah.
And at the same time, when I'm writing something, it's not as if it's not like I'm going through that situation right there and then. It's like, how can I put it? Whenever I'm coming up with titles, there's my spirit to tell me, write about this. And then I'll come up with a title. And then I'll wait for the words to like pop up in my head. Then I start writing. So I don't just write for the sake of
Right.
writing or wanting people to like follow me and whatnot. No, I write because my spirit told me to write about something. Then I write it. Then when sometimes maybe I might be going through the same situation, I would feel that emotion and my spirit would be in agreement. You can write about this. Then I write it just like that. So I know why I started writing, and I want to stick to my vision, because writing is aligned to what my purpose is supposed to be here on earth. So I need to stick to whatever vision I have for my life and whatnot.
Yeah, I've seen that on the biography of the same book. So yeah, so like now, let's talk about the challenges you faced when writing the book. What challenges did you face, and how did you manage to overcome all the challenges?
The biggest challenge is doubt.
Okay.
That's the biggest challenge, because you have people. When I started writing and I started teaching myself how to write poetry, I reached out to people. I was like, I'm writing, I want to write a book. This is while I'm writing, and people went through, and I would receive like negative comments. You can't write. You're not a writer. Like I
Okay.
got those comments like bluntly coming to my face.
Yes.
But because my spirit wanted me to do this, I didn't like give up. So I was like, okay, I'll prove you wrong. Like in my head, like I take, if I want to do something and I really want to achieve something and my spirit is in agreement of what I want to do,
Mm.
I take all the negative thoughts said about me and make them into like a fire. Like I fuel up that determination. And in the end, I'm going to achieve it. And you who came up with those negative thoughts are going to be proven wrong. So, so yeah, that was the first challenge because doubt kept on coming. Like even after I wrote Assassin Memoirs and Random Poetic Words, and people were not buying. Like I was like, maybe I'm not a good writer. Maybe
Yeah.
I'm not a good writer. Maybe I should stop writing. Like the doubt doesn't stop coming, kept on coming. Then other than that, financially, like I've been using my own money
Mm-hmm.
from my salary. So even finances, like if I don't have the money, then I have to like put the project on hold
Yeah.
until I'm able to find the money that I'm required to do everything. So even that has been a challenge, even now, because I don't do a lot of printouts
Okay.
because of
Finances and stuff.
finances and stuff. Like I look at my finances and I'll be like, no, I can just manage like 10. Like currently, I only have Memoirs of the Tormented. So, and yeah, I can only manage maybe 10 for Memoirs of the Tormented. So maybe then later on, if there are others who want random poetic words, that's when I can now budget for it and print out other books.
So, like for you now, looking at this, what you are doing, how many more people do they inspire you? Like, who inspires you first of all? Is there anyone like who help, like whom you feel like whenever you feel you're down, you can go and maybe watch, or maybe you can consult from them, the people who are in line with what you are doing. Is there anyone other one? And is there anyone?
Okay, for me, the people who inspire me have that they have never written any book, but they are like whenever I feel down,
Mm.
like there are people that I used to talk to. Like even the time I doubt whether I'm a good writer or not,
Mm-hmm.
I spoke with my brother, Kaluva.
Shout out.
Yeah, shout out to him, and I spoke to Kaselekil as well, my cousin. I spoke also to my friend Martha Chanda. Like I would tell them, and I also spoke with Elizabeth Chungu. She's also my cousin, but her she writes. At least she writes like poetry. So I would like tell them, and I would reach to a point where I'll say maybe I should stop writing. Maybe writing is not for me. But even if I say that, my spirit will not be in agreement with me because this is something that I need to carry on. So I'd like tell them that I think I need to stop writing. I need to stop writing. I think I'm not a good writer and stuff like that. But they will be there to encourage me to say, no, it doesn't. Like I remember my cousin Kase and an uncle of mine told me similar words to say, it doesn't mean if certain people are not buying what you are selling. It doesn't mean that you're not good enough.
Yeah.
It's just that maybe their interests and their priorities are different.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And I also got an encouragement from an uncle of mine. I respect him highly. He's my dad's elder brother. We usually talk a lot. He also told me the same thing. Do not expect support from people when you're doing something. And in as much as maybe I'm carrying my father's name up high, the dream that I have and the vision that I have is for me.
Mm.
And if I'm always going to find validation from people, if what I'm doing is right or not, then I'll never achieve anything. I'll always be down. But if I focus on why I started writing and I focus on what I want to achieve at the end of the day, then everything else is going to fall in its place. And I won't even know how things are just going to work out for me.
It will
And
definitely work.
yes, to definitely work out. So my focus should be on my goals, my visions, and not trying to find validation from people. Because if the more I try to get validation from people, the more depressed and the more broken down I'm going to be. Because there'll be some people who are just going to give you negative reviews just to bring you down.
Yeah.
But if you know that what you're doing is what God wants you to do, because your spirit is going to agree with your ideas in your mind, your heart is going to be in agreement. Your mind, your heart, your spirit is going to be all in agreement. Then you should know that this is what God wants you to do. So, in as much as I would face setbacks and backwardness and setbacks and challenges, I need to realize that nothing is permanent, and eventually I will rise to a certain level that I need to reach.
Yeah. So what's the maximum potential, the full potential of your writing journey?
What do you mean by
At which point do you want to reach with your writing journey?
for me, I want to go international.
How?
Like, I
We
don't
go from
want.
Malawi then.
No. Beyond the boundaries of Africa, beyond the boundaries of Zambia, the boundaries of Africa. Like, I want to go. I want to be those people who are going to be remembered not by my name,
But by the works.
Mwansa Agness Chungu, but by the works that I'm going to put in,
Okay.
the books that I'm going to write, how my poetry is going to impact on every individual that's going to read it. That's how I want to be remembered. I once told myself, like, in as much as I'm writing, I don't want the fame, but my works is going to what's going to bring the fame. And at the end of the day, I have to accept it. But I want my works to be known out there and not my name. Yes, my name will be on the book, but I want, if someone reads the content, I want them to be like, wow, this is like beautiful. I can relate to it. How is it that she wrote this as though she knew that this is what I'm going through? That's what I want. And that's how I'm going to be. That's how I want to be remembered. Not only within Zambia and not within just the boundaries of Africa, but also worldwide. Now I want my name to, like, my works to go spread.
Just like it started already in Australia, right?
No, Kai, because my cousin is she's in Australia, so she bought my book. But it's one step at a time. So I don't know if other of her friends have read my book, but I just know that a cousin of mine bought a book on Amazon Kindle. But I want a point whereby even someone who's maybe in Ghana or Nigeria can like call, because right now the books is available in like Zambia. So I would want people to call or email me to say, I want a copy of your book, but they are somewhere maybe in Ghana, they're in Nigeria, or maybe they're in the UK. Yeah, I want that kind of situation. Not because of my name. My name is not famous. Mwansa Agness Chungu. There are a lot of Mwansas out there.
So for you, you've mentioned that you want, like, your way to go far, right?
Yes.
How much have you worked? Like, how hard have you worked on this for it to reach up to that end? Because it's not easy for you to just go abroad, like to break boundaries, to say.
So the book that I've written is not the only project that I'll work on. So it's all about being consistent.
Yes.
So there are times where, like, I on my Facebook account, I don't have a page, but I have an account. Okay. I usually post my poems there. I usually post my poems there. And the poems that I post, they are not poems that are in my book. They're just to keep those who are following me, to keep them keep them in touch, to know that I'm still writing and whatnot. But at the same time, I do write in background. Like, whatever that I write in background, I don't publish it on social media. Or I don't tell even people that, I'm working on this and whatnot. So I just keep it silent. When it's ready for publication, that's when I can now go on social media and say, I'll be releasing a new book titled ABCD and whatnot. So it's all about consistency. And so about consistency and sticking to why I started writing. And moreover, this book actually won me an award.
Really?
Yes.
We're going there now. Okay, since you've already
All right.
reviewed it, so yeah.
So yeah, it's all about the consistency.
Mm-hmm.
So about the consistency. We recently had someone from Library of Congress.
Okay.
This is a library based in the United States of America. It's one of the oldest, if not the oldest, library in the US.
Okay.
It's a very big thing. So they usually buy books around the world,
Oh.
and they came in Zambia and they bought some books from Zambian authors,
Okay.
and my book was one of them. So when they buy the books, they use them for research.
Mm-hmm.
They go through the same books, and if they really love what you've written, they'll get in touch with you again and buy more copies, which they distribute in other libraries in the US.
Okay.
So they got a copy of my book. So I hope to receive a positive response.
Well, wish you all the best.
Thank you.
Yeah. So now on the writing process, right?
Mm.
Can you describe your writing process like do you have a ritual that you do when writing the book or when writing the poem themselves that you do?
Do I have what?
A ritual.
A ritual.
Mm-hmm. Do you pray? Do you sing? Or maybe do you? I don't know.
Okay, for me, if I'm writing something, and how I get ideas is different. Like maybe I can be listening to a song,
Mm-hmm.
and then I just listen to a catchy line, and I'll be like, okay, this one, I think I can write a poem about this.
Okay.
And then I'll write down the word in my book. I'll write down, and then there are other times where I even feel like the song that I'm listening to, I can write a poem based on the same song, but I rewrite it. Like I write it as though different words, but having the same meaning close to like the song. So there's one which I did for Eminem.
Okay. Which one?
Hush, little baby, don't you
You
cry.
also listen to Eminem.
Yes. So
Okay.
so I was listening to that song, and the title of the song is Mockingbird, but my focus was on the hush, little
Okay.
baby. And I got the meaning of what the song was referring to. And I was like, I need to write a poem related to me, which I did.
Okay.
But the
It's
poem,
also on Facebook.
it's on Facebook
We'll check
and
it out.
TikTok. I made a video out of it.
Okay.
Yes, it's on Facebook and TikTok. So I wrote a poem titled Hush, and I got the chorus part where he sings Hush. Little baby, don't you cry. I sang that part. Then I started now writing now the words. And the words were not meant for like someone else. They were meant for me. Like I was going through some stuff where I felt maybe I'm not doing enough. Maybe I haven't achieved what I need to achieve in my writing, and I feel as though my friends are ahead of me and stuff like that. So I wrote all those things in the poem. Then afterwards, I asked my cousin to look for the instrumental for Mockingbird by Eminem. And that's how I looked for the instrumental, and we put the instrumental. Then I started recording the words following the instrumental, and we recorded. It came out good.
Wow.
So, yeah, sometimes I do pray. If the words are not coming to me, like I would pray to God. God, I know the title and I have the idea of what I want to write about, but the words are not coming. So I would pray, open my mind, open my mind, open my mind for my mind to be like creative. Yeah. So for me, when writing, like if I come up with an idea or words, if I come up with a title and I have the words like right there, and then I'll just start writing. I won't pray, I won't do anything. But in situations whereby I've come up with a title and I have an idea of how I want that poem to come out, but the words are not coming. That is the time where now I like pray.
Oh yes.
I pray and I ask God to like open my mind, and open that inner creativity in me so that the right words can begin to flow.
It works out.
And it works out.
Okay.
Like yesterday, I was writing a poem and I came up with the title and I had the idea, but the words were not coming. Then I prayed. After I prayed, that's when now words started coming and I was able to write. I typed and I submitted.
So how often do you write? Like write in your journal or maybe write in a poet?
Okay, for me, it depends with how inspirational I feel in that particular day or moment. There are times where I just write maybe one poem per day. Then there are other times I can write 3 or 4 in a day.
In a day.
Yes.
I've seen where it's going. I'm sure you're going to write about Tivos, the voice of silence. Yes, so the voice of silence, the voice of silence podcast. So we should, I've given you a piece weight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So depending on the inspiration, it's I can even write like 3 poems and if I'm very feeling that mood of like writing, it can be like within 5 minutes I write. Again I get another idea, I write. Again I write. But if I'm not feeling that inspirational, then just 1 poem per day is enough.
I'll be waiting for our poem from you. And I'll follow you on all your socials. For real. It's the voice of silence. I'm sure you can relate with this. It's the voice of silence. For me, that's the name that I chose because it's related to me.
Okay.
In case you might wonder, it was when I was still in, that was a long time, about 2019. I was also antisocial.
Okay.
Yeah, so like, a lot of people used to bully me.
I was also bullied. And I hate bullies, to be
I
honest.
know, right?
I was also bullied in primary school. I think that's why I think writing makes me to lash out certain things because I was bullied in most of my period of my primary education. I was like bullied.
That's what.
And I know some of those bullies like I
You
hate.
can point at them and say, you are bullying me.
No, I just look at them and I just laugh about it. And I think it's because of bullying. That's why it also means sometimes I'm closed up and I prefer not having a lot of friends because of the bullying that I experience. And so I prefer sometimes I'm just alone, like just close up myself, or other times I just prefer just having a few friends. Yeah, because of the bullying that I went through. As I was bullied in primary, like 2 of the schools that I went to, I was actually bullied.
Okay.
Yeah. So I hate bullying. I hate bullying.
I'm glad.
People who bully.
I'm glad that you find the place where you can speak out that voice which has been silent for a while, which is the Voice of Silence podcast.
I hate people who are like, even when I'm watching a movie where there's someone bullying.
Who's being bullied, yeah.
I feel so upset and so emotional because I know how it feels to be bullied.
I'm sure you used to cry, eh?
Yeah. Because when I was young in primary, I wanted to fit in certain groups at school, but they always used to like they didn't want to associate with me. But then when I grew up, I decided not to associate with anyone, and now they get pissed because I do not want to associate with anyone. Right? And yet they forget that sometimes what we go through during our childhood trauma is what makes us to say, okay, I'm now done pursuing or chasing anyone, or rather just be me the way I am.
Yeah. So, how has writing and publishing this book, how has it impacted your personality?
My personality hasn't changed.
No. Like,
okay. The book, it has kind of like impacted on my personality because it requires me to be social more. Like if there are book events like the previous one that we had, the agriculture show, it requires me, okay. It requires me to interact with a lot of people. In fact, even my job, the job that I do, I'm a librarian by profession.
Okay.
In as much I'm quiet and not very social with other people, my job requires me to be open to people who come through the library. Even when I'm doing sensitization in the community, I'm actually open. I talk to the community, I talk to the young ones, I encourage them about the importance of reading and whatnot. Even those who come through the library, I do the same. But then that social life, the moment I leave work, it's like mutes. The
We are
moment I
done.
leave book exhibition, it mutes because like my energy is drained and I need to now start revamping my energy again. But being a writer makes me to socialize with people, especially at book exhibitions and whatnot. Like people would even write messages to no, what you're doing is good. Like I would interact with them. They'll give me ideas of maybe what my next book should be about and stuff
Yeah.
like that. Yeah, but at the end of the day, yeah, I'll get into accountability with what they're giving me. But if their suggestions are not in line with what I want to write next, then that project has to be on hold until I write what I need to write next. Otherwise, I'm not doing this to like make people happy.
Mhm.
I'm doing this to make God happy because, like I mentioned, writing is part of my purpose.
Yeah.
So I need to write things that are needed now, and then the other things that they want me to write about can come later.
All right. So, can you just bring that other bottle close so that people should be able to see that we are open for advertisement as Tivos. So, as the Voice of Science podcast, Tivos, we are also open for those people who would like us to advertise their brand. We are we are on YouTube, Facebook, as well as on TikTok for now. So we're also on Spotify, though we're still having some challenges with Spotify, but we'll make sure that we are a full updated on Spotify. So you can get in touch with us by calling or WhatsApping us on the number which we'll put on the screen. But for those people who will be listening to us, the number is 0954 929687. 0954 929687, or you can email us at tvospod at gmail.com. tvospod@gmail.com. Right there, will be in touch with us. And also, thanks again to our sponsors for today, who are Old Crown Pub Lusaka. This Crown Pub is along Mosotunya Road near Woodlands Stadium. It's also karaoke. We can come. They're always open with this karaoke. They are open from Wednesday, Friday, and Sunday. Opening hours is every day, Sunday to Sunday. They operate for other things, but most for karaoke, it's Wednesday, Friday, and Sunday. Yeah. So they're still open. Welcome back.
Thank you.
How was it?
It was okay.
Okay. I've improved, right?
Yeah, improving.
Yeah. So what message would you give the upcoming poet, the people who are aspiring to do more poetry and also writing? I'm asking this because of my friend, good friend, the first lady of the podcast, the one we interviewed first.
Okay.
She's also into poetry.
Okay.
Yes, I don't know about writing. She's also into poetry, but it's just that we didn't touch the poet part in our conversation because
Okay.
of we had experienced power cut and stuff while we are
Okay.
recording. So it's the shortest episode we have.
Okay.
So for you now, what advice would you give not only to her but to almost everyone who thinks like, okay, I can write, but they fail to write?
Okay, first and foremost, you need to understand that for you to be a writer, you don't have to have like a degree in literature.
Okay.
I don't have a degree in literature. Yes, I did literature in secondary school. That was 10 to 12.
Okay.
And at that time, I didn't even pay attention to poetry.
When we were teaching and Mufa,
Yes. My focus was just reading on the books and I didn't focus on the rules of writing poetry and whatnot. Yes, poetry has got its rules, like there are certain themes of how you write poetry.
Yes.
They're in different like categories and whatnot, but you need to understand that poetry is an art,
Yeah.
and art has no rules. In as much as you want to abide to the rules in every word, every work that you write, you also have to break the rules because art has no rules. And this is something that my brother told me yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out to Kaselekela.
And yeah.
He said, if you are going to always follow like the rules, then you're going to kill the creativity within you. If you're going to, if you are going to limit yourself to only abiding to the rules,
Mm-hmm.
then you're going to be killing the creative that is in you, the creativity that is in you. So, for those doing poetry out there, whether it's spoken or written, I think just express yourself as much as you can through your work and make it as creative as you can through your work, because poetry is art at the end of the day. But we're using words in doing the art itself.
So how can they make money out of it? Like you.
Like for those who do spoken words, I'm sure there are some who do what we usually call gigs or performances.
There's also gigs in poetry.
Yeah, there are some people who perform like they are poetry contests for competitions for spoken word. The winner maybe gets something, and then for those who are writing the competitions for writing, the winner gets something. Then other than that, there are people who might even come to you. Oh, I want to surprise my girlfriend. Maybe it's a wedding, it's a what, and then they hire you to
Okay.
do like a spoken word poem for that particular couple. So there's some artists who do spoken word who actually do that. Like they make that out of that, and others even go to places like this place, the way they do karaoke.
Yeah.
There's some drinking places and eating places where they invite poetry artists to actually do some form of poetry. So obviously, maybe there's some kind of arrangement that they do. I don't know if they get paid or whatnot. I don't know, but there is that form. And Alliance Française is one of the places where they do a lot of poetry stuff and art stuff because they're into these things. Then other than that, you can publish a book. You write a collection of poems based on what you want to write on, and you look for a publishing company and you publish it, and that's how you can make your money. But it requires you to market it very well because the reading culture in our country is cumbersome.
But,
So
where do you think like it's going? Is it growing or maybe it's
no, I think from what I can observe is just like anything, you need to talk about it more. If you're not talking about it, then it will be silent. I'll give an example. Like I said, I'm a librarian by profession.
Mhm.
So I'm not based in Lusaka, I'm based in Chinsali. And Chinsali is not well developed like Lusaka or Quito or Ndola.
Mm.
It's still a rural place, but it's still developing. So in order for me to have people to come through the library, every year I have to do library sensitizations.
Mm.
Whether I went to the place last year, I still have to go back. It's more like reminding the community or the pupils why the library is important and why they need to come to the library and read. So it's all about being consistent. You have to always talk about it every single time. And the more you talk about it, the more relevant and more necessary that people are going to realize, oh, I think it's about time that we revive this and start reading again.
For how long have you been doing this?
The
The writing stuff.
I started in 2015. That's when I started now like practicing, learning how to write poetry. So from 2015 to date,
So how many books have you published so far?
3.
Apart from this? Really?
Yes, like
Wow.
I mentioned, Assassin Memoirs
Mm-hmm.
and Random Poetic Words, which was a self-publication under as Amazon Kindle, and now Memoirs of a Tormented Soul.
And then how many are you planning to do more?
I can't say the number.
But there are a lot.
I can't say the number, but I just want to be consistent in my writing. I can't say that every year I'll be publishing something,
Mhm.
but all I know is that by the time I'm leaving this world, I should have published a lot of books written by myself.
All right. So
And other than that, and also collaborate with other other people. The books that we call a theology,
okay.
where maybe a publishing company says we're looking for contributors to write maybe about poetry, essays, and whatnot. And then you submit your works. When you submit, they have to select the best from those who've submitted. And then from there, they come up with what they call an anthology. So it's not just about me writing, but I can also collaborate with other writers while we come up with an anthology. My name will be there, my biography will be there, and the poem that was selected for the same anthology will be there.
All right. So any memorable reaction or response or feedback from the memoirs of automated soul?
Okay, so far I haven't received any negative feedback from anyone.
Okay.
That's something I can say positively. Like every person that has read my book has given me a very positive feedback, which gives me which makes me happy.
Yeah,
But again, it also makes me that I need to write something even better than Memoirs of the Tormented. So it doesn't mean if I receive positive feedback, then I have to relax and not do something better than that. So my next book has to be way better than Memoirs of the Tormented. So
all right.
yeah.
So just in case for this noise, yo, the genset, right?
Yeah, it's a Johnson.
Wow. So it's a genset. We just experienced a power cut. So now they've turned on the genset. So see how we can work with the audio perfectly. So I think we've gone over 1 hour 30. I think we can now come to the conclusion. Or maybe if, yeah, but what are the future plans so far over the same writing journey?
I really don't like talking about my plans.
I know, right?
I like surprising people. Boom! I did this. Boom! I was at this place. So I won't talk much about my future plans. But yeah, I want to write more books. I want to collaborate on more things, and I want to participate in more competitions. Um, by the way, my Memoirs of a Tormented Soul won an award this year
Yeah, yeah.
for the Copper Book Awards for Best Poetry and Anthology. So I want to win more awards.
Yeah.
I want to win more awards, more competitions, and release more projects and collaborate with other artists as well.
So for I heard you mention about bookings and other things. So for the people who doesn't know where you are found, where can they find you? What's your handle? That was the most interesting word that I heard. What's your handle? Hopefully you understand this.
Okay. For me, like I mentioned, I'm not based in Osaka. I'm based in Chinsali because of work. I work for the council in Chinsali. I'm the librarian there.
Like you've mentioned.
So yeah. So in terms of booking, I think they can get in touch with me on my number, which is 0976 66 22 59. And depending on the type of booking they want, if they want me to write a poem for them or they want me to come and say it at whatever event that they require, to all dependent on my workplace, whether because for me to travel, obviously I have to get a leave, and there's that procedure, yeah. But they can get in touch with me on 0976 66 22 59. That's my number. And in terms of copies for the book, there are usually copies within Lusaka. So they can still get in touch with me, of which my brother can be able to deliver to whoever that is within Lusaka.
Not only Lusaka. What if
Yes.
what if it's Livingstone or maybe any
If it's
part?
Livingstone, they can still get in touch with me. But in terms of places outside Lusaka, it will require people to send money for delivery. But within Lusaka, we can do a free delivery to that person.
What about ebook?
Pardon?
Ebook. Like the ebook.
For Memoirs of the Tormented, so it doesn't have an ebook. It doesn't have a soft copy. It's just hard copy. Unless Random Poetic Works, it has a soft copy / hard copy. But for Memoirs of Tormented, so it's strictly hard copy.
You are not planning to have a soft copy.
No. Maybe
have.
for my next book, yes, I will have a soft copy and a hard copy. But this one will remain a hard copy.
Okay, and then I don't think you mentioned your Facebook user where they can find your poem.
Facebook, I don't have, like I said, I don't have a page, but you can search for Mwansa Agness Chungu third. That's got like 3, 1, 1, 1.
Yeah.
Yes, so Mwansa Agness Chungu third, Mwansa Agness Chungu third. That's 1, 1, 1, which makes third. So it's the same name that I use on TikTok, and it's the same name that I use on Instagram. I'm not very active on Instagram in terms of posting, but TikTok and Facebook I am. For Facebook, I do post both the words where I write a poem, then I post, and then there are other times where I even record. I make videos where I'm reciting the poem. Then there's like an instrumental in the background, and then I post it on Facebook. And the same video that I post on Facebook will also be posted on Instagram as well. I mean,
TikTok.
on TikTok.
Yeah. Yeah, okay. That's all?
Yes.
You don't have like a YouTube channel?
I don't have a YouTube channel.
But
Not yet. But I'm planning to do one.
are you making money out of the same like social media platforms?
Pardon?
Are you making money out of the same social media platforms? The one you're using?
No, I'm not.
What do you think about it?
Making money out of it.
Yeah.
I don't really know the process.
No, you should find out.
I'll find out.
You should find out. Otherwise, I can't thank you enough.
All
for
right.
this. I mean, it's been real, and I love the way the conversation has gone. But just in case I might have missed out anything that you thought I might bring in, is there anything that you thought maybe I'll bring, or
I think everything has been covered
what was your expectation?
for the podcast.
Yes.
No, in the beginning, I deliberately didn't, when you guys got my number at the show, I was like, I'm not going to call because every person got my number. No, I'll call you for the book. I was like, okay, let them get my number, but I'm not going to call any of these people. If they're really interested in my work, let them follow me, not me doing the other way around. I did that because it puts value on me as a writer to know whether I get the call or not.
Yes.
I still have produced something that is very brilliant. So if I get the call, it means the person who got my number was actually serious and not toying with me with their, you know how people are.
I know.
They get your number, but they don't call you. So I deliberately, I did save your number, but I deliberately said, I'm not going to communicate with these guys until they either communicate with me or they call. And when they do, I'll be ready to go for the podcast. I was a bit nervous because this is like a second time doing a podcast.
Okay.
But the first one that I did was for my cousin. He was just asking questions about, I think, friendship and relationship and whatnot. But it wasn't done in this manner where we are doing a video recording and whatnot.
So that's audio?
It was just audio. I think that was the first podcast. And then in terms of interview, this is like the third. There was one that I did last year when I tried entering Goma Awards. for creative writing. Like I tried to enter to be nominated and whatnot. So there was a competition for the content creators. So the lady that won as best for the Agness Mwansa competition.
Okay.
The lady that won, I actually know her, Doreen. She was doing interviews for every person that had entered the Goma Awards competition for creative and whatnot. So she also interviewed me, of which I had refused that it shouldn't be video but it should be audio. Then the interview went okay. So that was like the first interview. So this is like the third interview. But now I'm more confident that even the video one is still okay. Yeah. So I was, for me, I just told myself, I was nervous. Yeah, I was nervous, but I just told myself I'll just have fun. And in order to achieve success in life, it's the small things that matter. So success begins somewhere. So this podcast interview is one step closer to me achieving my dreams and my goals. So I told myself I'm going to just enjoy myself to that podcast. Whatever the outcome will be, only God knows. But yeah, I was ready.
I don't even know what to say. Thank you very much for your time. I mean, it's not easy for someone to believe in the manner, even the way we approached you that day. It was just like we are, checking out what's there, what's on the market. That was the main reason why we were there. And then, finally we met you. And then, but I knew for a fact that we would do it now, like I said, the challenges that we had, the Papakari, that's what now made us, But, So, thank you very much once again. Wishing you all the best.
If you have a vision, my message for people out there is, if you have a vision, whatever goal you want to achieve out of life, whatever vision you have for your life, if your spirit is in agreement with your vision, it's in agreement with your mind, with what you want to achieve in life, don't listen to the crowd. If the crowd is saying you won't achieve this, you are not good at it, but you know that you are, and you know that your spirit is in alignment with your vision, I would actually encourage you to listen to what your spirit is saying and work on what you need to work on for you to achieve your vision. Stay focused, be determined,
be positive,
and be positive, and always remember to put God first. If God is backing your actions and your decisions, then nothing else matters other than God's approval.
Well, thank you very much. Thank you very much once again to everyone who is supporting us, and also thank you to our viewers and listeners. We really appreciate your time, and so we'll see you next week, Friday, where we always post our episodes. Otherwise, stay tuned. We still have more people, more interesting people. Imagine like her. We still have a lot of people to come on this podcast. Thank you. Continue supporting us by brand advertisement. You can also bring your brand, like we mentioned earlier. You can also help us with each and everything. By the way, and I'm sorry that today we have shirts.
Oh, okay.
So now they're done, and then so we'll look for one for you.
Okay.
We also have shirts for merchandising, and we will also, in the next episode, we'll try by all means we include them as well. So thank you very much. If you want to get in touch with us, you can contact us on our very number, which is on the screen, or just in case you are listening to us, you can call us on 0954 929687, or you can email us at chivospod@gmail.com. Thank you very much. See you. Stay blessed. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Wow. No.